Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to this evening's Municipal Council meeting. I'd like to welcome members of council, members of staff, those of you who are our guests this evening, and those of you who are attending virtually. We will begin this meeting by acknowledging that we are gathering on the land that has been inhabited by Indigenous peoples since time immemorial. We would like to recognize that we are in the Robinson Superior Treaty Territory, and the land on which we are gathered today is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe. Specifically, we acknowledge the neighboring community of Mishkwatan First Nation, for whom we have great respect. We also recognize the contributions of all Indigenous people, including the Métis, in shaping and strengthening the community and province of Ontario. Thank you, and miigwech. We will now move on to disclosure of pecuniary interest. Councillor Hoffman?
I'd like to declare
Councillor Hoffman, can I get you to use your microphone? Thank you.
I'd like to declare a pecuniary interest on item 8.1, men's curling bonspiel, as I'm president of the club.
Thank you very much, Councillor Hoffman. Are there any other disclosures to make? Hearing and seeing none, we will move on to item number 3, approval of the agenda. May I have somebody make a motion to approve? Councillor Hatfield, seconded by Councillor Opato. All in favor? Carried. Item number 4, delegations and presentations. 4.1, request to lease space at 96 Broadway Avenue. We do have 2 presenters with us this evening. We have one in council chambers, Miss Michelle Richardson, and we have somebody accompanying with her on Zoom tonight, and I'll let Michelle introduce her. Councillor Hoffman, can I ask you to get the lights? Thank you, sir. Perfect. Whenever you're ready, Michelle.
Testing, here we go.
Hi, thank you for welcoming us. I'd like to introduce my supervisor, Rose from Sault Ste. Marie. I'll let her go first. Can you hear
Hi.
us?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Rose. I am the supervisor for CMHA here in Sault Ste. Marie, and I want to start off by thanking you for extending this invitation to me. And I want to apologize on behalf of Annette and Pam for not being able to attend this evening. So I am stepping in on their behalf. So if you'd like me to get started, I can just get right into it because I'm not really sure what the process is for this meeting.
Yes, please, Rose, the floor is yours. Please proceed.
Thank you very much. So I'm just going to start by giving you a little bit of background on Iris Place. Iris Place is a program offered by Canadian Mental Health Association of Algoma. It is a drop-in center for individuals living with mental health and addiction issues. Through our participation, our members are given the opportunity to rejoin the worlds of friendship, family, work, education, and to access services and supports they may need. Iris Place has been has a dedicated team of peer support workers who strive to make a positive difference in the members by providing hot lunches Monday to Friday, programming, peer discussion, and social recreation, and whatever is in between that they can offer. Some of the services available include, but are not limited to, assistance reading and filling out papers, for example, housing, OW, job applications, etc. They provide one-on-one time if requested, where we have an office that provides some privacy to do so. They help senior members apply for items needed for safety to stay at home through the ALC discretionary fund. 9 applications approved, safety bars, walkers, TED stockings, foot care, appointments, glasses, and so on. They assist with booking of various appointments, including medical, other agencies, job search related, education related, and so on. Translation for members who are French speaking. research in the members about assistance or services available that we may not be aware of. For example, mediation north in Sudbury. And if help is needed, we do what we can to help members or find someone who can. Some of our outcomes, so the current landlord of Iris Place has served Canadian Mental Health Association of Algoma with a notice that they will be terminating our lease effective November 30th, 2024. The landlord cited the reason as to complete necessary renovations, which would take approximately 6 months. Our next steps is CMHA Algoma would like to be proactive in securing a new location for Iris Place with little to no service disruption and support to the clients served. Our mission includes providing safe, accessible, inclusive services to clients. Upon touring the available space at 96 Broadway Avenue, we feel that this would provide a suitable space for Iris Place and the clients accessing supports while meeting our mission as stated. We are requesting to enter into a long-term lease agreement of 5 years with the municipality of Wawa to occupy the space for a monthly rental rate of $1,500 inclusive of all costs. And now I'm going to turn it over to Michelle to give you a little bit more about Iris Place.
Thanks, Rose. So just to correct that, that was $1,750 inclusive of all costs.
Oh, I apologize.
That's okay. So my name's Michelle. I've been the Clubhouse Peer Support Worker at Iris Place for the last year. Nursing in the community for over 25 years, so I know the community well. Iris Place has become a major hub for members of our community who are struggling with mental health, addiction, poverty, and homelessness. We work closely with the other agencies in the community, including ADSAB, the Community Outreach Program, Life Skills Development Program, Chadwick Home, Community Living, CMHA's Caseworker, the Wawa Family Health Team, and WAVES, to name a few. We've become a central point of all these agencies because we're open every day and you do not need an appointment to seek help with us. We're all working together for the common goal of the wellness and safety for our community members in need. Since January 2024, we've had over 2,700 member visits. These visits range from a mere social visit for a senior citizen to crisis intervention. When someone comes into Iris Place, they're offered a hot meal every day. Most days there's access to food to take home for an evening meal. We've helped members with a wide range of things, including rehab treatment applications, paperwork for housing, medical care, identification, Ontario Works, ODSP, personal bills, etc. If there's something we cannot help them with, we will call on one of the other agencies in town that may be able to assist, and the situation is quickly taken care of. We've helped people with obtaining clothing, blankets, tents, and tents for the homeless. There's a monthly calendar that outlines the daily activities. We've had guest speakers join us for lunch and learns with important information that was discussed with our members. Some of the topics include power of attorneys, domestic abuse, finances, various mental health issues, and addiction issues. We have a dietitian and an RN who visit monthly, providing blood pressure and blood sugar readings. We've collaborated with other agencies to run their programming through our location so that both services could be provided. And we provide AA, NA services, and we've created a boys' youth group. In the last year, our drop-in center has become a safe space and a constant in the lives of many people in our community. Various members from a wide range of lifestyles come together and support each other in a safe, warm, non-judgmental space. For many, we are their family. They care for each other, support each other, and help each other. Most importantly, they understand each other and respect each other. Having to close the doors and not have a place to reopen would be a terrible loss to the community. People rely on us, they look forward to that door being open every morning, and they need us. The support of our community thus far has been tremendous, and going forward with a new location would definitely benefit our community as a whole. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michelle and Rose. I'll just open it up to the floor now to council. Any questions and comments from council? Councillor Hatfield?
Michelle, I was very excited when you got the job to work there because you're so positive and get along so very well. I had no idea you did that much work. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments from council? Michelle, I just wanted to say, and Rose, thank you very much for coming to council and making this presentation and really making the community aware of all the services you offer. I think it's really important. This is a demographic that we often don't hear about, and it's in my opinion, it's one that council and the town really does have a responsibility to make sure that these services are provided for. These people are an important segment of our population, but often forgot about in many ways. So we do recognize the need for the services in our community. When I first became mayor, I was invited by your predecessor to come into Iris's place and spend an afternoon, share a meal with your clients, and really see the services that you provide firsthand. And it was really touching. Your clients are family members and friends of those in the community, and we want to support the continuance of the program because you do really good work. So I know that you are requesting to enter into a long-term lease agreement for 5 years. We will, I think that it's prudent for council to ask staff to prepare a report to ensure that the monthly rental rate of $17.50 inclusive of all costs is appropriate. So we will defer this first to staff. So it will come back at an upcoming council meeting. But we will, we are aware of your November 30th deadline, and we do want to expedite this, and we want to make sure that you meet your date. I'm not hearing any objections to that, anything that I'm saying. So council is in alignment. We have 2 council meetings before that date. So we will we should be able to get back to you with a date, and I'm looking at Maury to confirm that.
Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. And we've had some discussions with Michelle and her team about what might be involved in the lease at 96 Broadway, and so we're working through a few necessary improvements. But having said that, staff will write a report for council, and if council would entertain, the next meeting is November 5th, so we would share a report and put a bylaw to enter into a lease agreement at the same meeting for council to make a decision quickly in light that Iris Place needs, I guess, some response so it can make future plans. Thank you.
Is there any objection to that expedited timeline? Hearing no objection, that is the route that we will take. Okay. And I trust that that's sufficient for the Iris Place's needs.
Yep, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Michelle, sorry, Rose, you will miss out, but for anybody who does do a delegation to council, if you want to come up, we do have a goose pin for you. You might have 1 or 2 already, seeing of all the good work that you do, but thank you very much, and you're more than welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, or you can take this opportunity to slide out.
I want to thank you all for taking the time to talk to us today, and I'm going to exit as I have children to go home and feed. So.
Correct. Thank you very much. We will now move on to item number 5, adoption of minutes. 5.1, Committee of the Whole, Tuesday, October 1st. May I please have somebody make a motion to approve? Councillor Hoffman, seconded by Councillor Cannon. All in favor? Carried. There are no items listed under business arising at a previous meeting, so we will move on to item number 7, monthly reports. As typical, I will ask council if they have any questions based on the information provided in the monthly reports, and we can council can pose their questions to the staff available, which tonight is Maury and Craig. Are there any questions? Councillor Hatfield?
Right. Dan Beach said the pumps are out, but you also have limited gas at the airport. Like, what do you mean the pumps are not working for gas? What's limited gas mean? Like, are you able to do the planes? Do you know?
From my understanding, excuse me, they're an on and off thing going on right now. So one day they'll go out there, they'll turn the pumps on, they seem to work fine. And then the next day or that afternoon, they go down. So they have things coming for it. I'm not sure the date of when they're supposed to arrive, but there's been a NOTAM, is that what they call it? Quite often out there that there's no gas available.
So, yeah, they tell like pilots what's going on.
Yeah,
Okay,
something that's broadcasted across the province.
are you doing another run with the street sweeper? Because I haven't seen it.
Street sweeper was out twice last week, and it'll hopefully be out twice again this week.
And that'll do all the roads around town?
We're picking up leaves at this time in our gutters, so we do it on a couple days a week after the leaves blow off the trees.
Okay. I really would like you to pass this on to Dan. It's just something that I've been asked many times. The sidewalks are getting really overgrown, and I did talk to Dan and ask him if you had that cutter that goes behind that machine. He said, yeah, we have it, Mitch, but I just don't know when we could do it. So I was wondering, when you sit together and decide what you're going to do for the summer and all that, to consider doing some of the sidewalks, because some of them are really bad. The grass is growing right in. And
I agree with you 100%.
yeah, so that's what I'd like you to ask Dan.
I believe Dan's aware of it as well as myself. It's time, bodies,
Yeah,
a lot of discussion on that lately,
yeah,
and I really like to see us move forward with something with that next year.
that would be great. And I have one more question. Where did I? Oh, the bathrooms at the airport, are they started yet?
They're supposed to be here Thursday.
Okay. And that's all I have for you, Craig. You answered every question.
Thank you.
Councillor Hoffman?
On my walkabouts around town, I was noticing today that the old medical center, there's up on the second story where the radio station is, there's siding has been blown off. So it just, if you guys don't know, I'm figuring I'd bring it to your attention.
I believe they're aware of that, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Cannon?
I don't have any questions for you, but welcome to your first council meeting.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to say, reading Alex's report, that Canadian Tire is sponsoring again the public skates this year. I just wanted to say thank you to Canadian Tire. And I was happy to see Ecotact working on the sign today outside the community center. And I look forward to when it's up and running.
Councillor Hoffman?
No, I can't remember.
And we'll circle back. Councillor Rapato, did you have anything to close
I
us
can't
off?
remember.
With that said, we'll move on to item number 8, new business. 8.1. Councillor Hoffman, yes. We'll come back and get you. Concluding this discussion. Maury, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. With your approval, I'll read the letter received from the Wawa Men's Curling Bonspiel 2025. On October 2nd, a meeting was held with the Curling League Executive and Melanie Coe of the Mitchell Memorial Community Center. The Curling Club is very excited about the upcoming season, and it appears there'll be a significant increase in teams for all leagues. Once again, the club has tentatively arranged for 2 days of training for students on November 8th and adults on November 8th. The league supported a youth curling program last season, and plans are to continue this initiative. There is no charge to the students. The club is working to have several one-day evening events during the season as well. All leagues have plans for bonspiels, and bonspiels require a lot of work and effort, but are the season's highlight and brings many out-of-town teams to the community. Mixed and Lady League bonspiel dates were approved by the MMCC, and the Men's League has requested to have the men's bonspiel occur on the weekend of April 4th to 6th. The ladies will celebrate their 70th bonspiel anniversary, and men's curling will celebrate its 75th anniversary. Quite an achievement and a rich history, one achieved by the support and effort of many volunteers and organizations, including the municipality Wawa. The ladies' bonspiel committee booked the last weekend of March, so this date was not available to the men's curling. Staff of MMCC have directed that the Men's League apply for an exception from Wawa Council's policy if there is to be a change to the current curling ice removal schedule. The Men's League hereby requests that the 2025 Men's Bonspiel be allowed to be held April 4th to 6th, 2025, and I've attached a letter dating July 2nd sent to Ms. Stacy White requesting that extension. Please contact Andy Stevens if you have any questions regarding this matter, and it's signed by Andy Stevens. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I can't speak further, Mayor. Andy Stevens, the Wawa Men's Curling Secretary, is present if council has any questions. But from staff's perspective, we view this request similar to the request from the ice hockey users. And our recommendation is that council refer this back to staff for a report. That will also look at the impact on the financial operations for our operating budget in 2025. So to look at both this and the request for extending of ice, council's current ice policy would see that the curling and arena ice be removed from the facility on the last Monday in March. There are 5 Saturdays in March. We would want to, again, collaborate with the Men's League and our staff to come up with the plan to move forward and bring a report forward to council, but that it come in consultation or at the same time as the operating budget. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maury, for your report. Is there any questions, comments from council? Councillor Opato?
I would like to see it extended because it is an important anniversary date, and a lot of people came to Wawa at that particular time of the year. So I'd like to move forward and look at it seriously. Thanks.
Councillor Hatfield?
I don't have any questions, but I remember when our 50th, I chaired that, the ladies curling, and it was fantastic. And I know the men and the ladies will do a very good job. I would support it.
Councillor Cannon, did you have any questions or did you have any comments?
The only comment is I'll wait for the report coming from staff, and then at the same time, like you said, with hockey and everything, then we'll decide then.
I'm aligned with Maury's recommendation that we defer our decision making, or defer and hold off making a decision until staff reviews it. It's the same, although I recognize the importance of the bonspiel, it's the identical request as the hockey. And I think that it should be treated fair and equally as the hockey. And I think that's what I'm hearing Councillor Hatfield and Councillor Opato say. But I just want to make sure that you are in alignment with that. Okay, so there's no objection. So we will defer the matter to staff and discuss it in the operating budget and treat both requests equally and with the same merit. I did note that Mr. Stevens is in the audience. Mr. Stevens, did you want to? I'll just ask you to use the microphone.
Testing.
Thank you, Mayor. I think the letter that we had sent to council explains a lot of the details, maybe just a couple of things that are different. If you notice, we start our curling season on November the 4th, not October the 1st, so we have about a 4 or 5 week period where we're not on the ice. During the season, we have a week at Christmas and a March break, which takes away from our ice time. And as well, when you get into the season of March, you got Fish Derby weekend, you got the March break, and of course the Ladies Bonspiel. Traditionally, we've been always in April. It's the last curling Bonspiel for most areas, and it's an important one. So already we're getting requests about the date and applying for applications. So if there is going to be a bit of delay, it would be important that we get some comment either way so that we can get back to those people that are interested. They recognize that it's going to be a special occasion, and as such, the Men's Bonspiel Committee is looking to have something that will make this an outstanding event for those attending and for the community. And I'm open to any other questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stevens. We certainly recognize that you are looking for an expedited decision. I think last year our council was very fast in approving our budget. I think we did it by the end of December. So I think we'll aim to be just as quick and to have a decision made very quickly for the Men's Bonspiel. Go ahead, Maury.
Yes, Mayor, I think we can report back on this issue in November, given, the urgency for the club to do its advertising and make arrangements. So I'm certain we can come back to council in November.
Wonderful. So for your planning purposes, Mr. Stevens, we have 2 meetings in November. Our latest meeting is November 19th. So, and if there are no other comments or objections, I believe that we can, maybe somebody can get Mr. Hoffman. Yes. And without further ado, we'll move on to item 8.2, Draft Municipality of Wawa Multi-Year Accessibility Plan, 2025 to 2029. Maury, I believe you'll speak to this. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor. It is a requirement of legislation that municipalities in Ontario prepare an accessibility plan and that it be multi-year, covering a 5-year period. Our current plan expires this year. It covered the period 2019 to 2024. And within the plan, it really is a document that sets out council's goals and vision and objectives over 5 years to try to meet all the legal requirements of the Accessibility of Ontario's Disability Act and any other regulations around making our services, our programs, and our facilities, our built environment accessible to the public. So after review of the existing plan and review with staff, we've prepared a draft plan for council's consideration from 2024 to 2029. The plan sets out our past accomplishments over the last 5 years. Some things maybe we need to do and bring forward to our next plan. So it also sets out goals and objectives of council over the next 5 years. The plan has to be adopted by council and posted on our website by the end of the year. So given that, we're providing council with the draft tonight, a draft that we're looking for your comment and input. And then also we'll incorporate council's input and then bring this out to the community at large for input. It's really important in a multi-year accessibility plan that we have comments, especially from those who might be affected by the plan. In addition to the plan and not attached to this report, but could be made available to council at any time, we have a number of accessibility policies, how we deliver accessible services and programs to the community, whether it be at our town hall, which isn't accessible to enter, but we have accessibility standards on how we can provide services. in the most, with the most dignity to those who might require special accommodations. We have a return to work and other policies that also respect and provide opportunities for our own staff who might be experiencing issues with accommodating special requests for accommodations. So we have a number of policies, but this specific plan is one that needs to go to the community to ensure it reflects community need. But at the same time, this is a plan adopted by council, so it's your plan as well. So the recommendation tonight is to ask council to take the opportunity to review the draft and provide me with your comments over the next couple of weeks. And then we will begin a publicity and marketing campaign to get input from groups such as our age-friendly committee of council, from maybe the people of Iris Place and the general public at large, with the view to bring back a final draft to council at the November 19th council meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maury. I'll open it up to council for any questions or comments. Councillor Cannon?
Maury, I'd really like to sit down with you and discuss this new, this policy going forth. Being disabled myself, I think I look at it differently than other people might. So I look forward to sitting down with you and discussing some things.
Councillor Hatfield?
Now, this policy here, is this everything you would like to do? Okay, thanks.
No other questions or comments? Maury, when I reviewed this policy, I thought it was a really good, a really great document. I really appreciated that we had listed all of our past accessibility compliance achievements. And you can see how we're certainly getting better. We're on a journey to be AODA compliant, or we're on a journey. And certainly we have a wish list where we want to be, where we want to ensure that we are, do have an accessible building and journey, but achieving that is, will certainly depend on, accessing funding envelopes that may be accessible to us and may not be, but it's certainly, in this document, I really acknowledge that there's stretch goals. And so it's a really good vision document. So I think it was really great. I'm really glad that Councillor Cannon is going to sit down with you, because I do believe that she's got an important perspective to bring to the table. And I look forward to hearing what the community can bring back in the 2-week feedback window that is permitted. I encourage other members of council to provide their feedback, but tonight we will receive the report as recommended, and I look forward to endorsing the final draft of this document, so we'll be compliant with the legislation for the next 5 years. Is council aligned? Councillor Hoffman, you have a comment?
Well, I was just going to say, but it might not be the place, but like this building really needs some upgrading to become accessible, friendly.
Absolutely. And I think that was recognized in the document, and council will work towards accessing funding. And it is in our strategic plan to work towards upgrading the town hall site. So one step at a time. And if there's no further comments, we will move on to item 8.3, Superior East OPP Regional Detachment Board, request for funding. Maury, this is your item as well.
Thank you, Mayor. As council is aware, we've moved to a detachment police board from our local police board. Effective in April, we now have a regional detachment board that's comprised of one member of council, and Councillor Hoffman represents the municipality of Wawa, and a council member from the other 4 municipalities, being Chapleau, Hornpain, Dubreuilville, and White River. We have 2 community representatives, and then we await 2 provincial representatives. So the board held its first inaugural meeting. The members were quite excited, and at the current time, myself and Sue Lord are providing support services to that board to get them off and running. But the first very important step recognized that's required for a board to get together, to have meetings, to maybe travel and do the things that board members must do. They need liability insurance, and within an insurance policy, things like non-owned vehicle travel, errors and omissions, to protect the board, similar to how council has insurance to protect themselves. So on behalf of the board, I obtained 2 quotes for insurance, and the board recently met on October 8th to approve that the lowest tender from Intact Public Entities through our local broker and Sault Ste. Marie office. They provided the lowest quote for $4,024, which includes PST. There is no rebate on the PST for insurance. So at the board meeting, the board recognizes it doesn't even have a bank account yet. It doesn't have any monies. It has to provide budget estimates to every council that makes up part of this board. But because it was the first meeting, that's not yet been achieved. It will be forthcoming, but they're asking in advance that council provide $805, which would be the full cost of insurance divided equally amongst the 5 communities at $805 each. The council advance that amount. We will open them a bank account and get them insurance hopefully in time for their next meeting, as it's strongly recommended. So it's on behalf of the detachment board, a request for that amount of funding. And generally, I can share, unless Councillor Hoffman, as the OPP detachment board rep, wants to. There's another meeting coming up, and there'll be a lot of quick action to get a budget estimate together for council and all councils to consider as part of new funds required to operate this board in 2025 and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maury. I'll open the floor to council for questions and comments, but before I do, I'll ask Councillor Hoffman if he wants to add anything to Maury's report.
A budget in line, but I think it should wait, right? Yeah. And then there was another, we were looking at a possible slush fund, but we'll bring that up later too.
Thank you very much, Councillor Hoffman. Councillor Cannon?
Maury, who took care of this insurance before? The other board?
Thank you, Councillor Hoffman. Excuse me, Councillor Cannon. There was not a board like this before. The previous board, police board, was a board under the municipality of Wawa. It only included representation from the municipality of Wawa and 1 provincial appointee. So that board came under the municipality of Wawa, so it was covered for insurance purposes through our general insurance policy for the municipality. This detachment board is totally new and totally separate. It has obviously a number of volunteers, but is not an entity under the municipality or under the OPP, and through regulation is its own entity, so it has to get its own insurance. And this matter was of a concern of the Police Board Association from day one, from those who started to look into insurance from day one. At first, no insurance company wanted to fund these types of boards because they have no history. So they have no claims history. It's still difficult to understand completely how the power of these boards will be executed, which under legislation, these boards are responsible to do performance appraisals of the staff sergeant chief, hiring the chief. So I think to answer you is basically this is not comparable to any board before, so it is a total separate board. I guess I would compare it to the DSAB board. I'm sure they have their own insurance, so it's a board not associated directly with the municipality. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Hatfield?
This board, are you on it? So who's doing all the work for it to get everything going?
At this time, working with the other CAOs, this has been a very long process even to get to here. We're talking the previous term of council when all this started. The municipality of Wawa has played the lead and the supporter, although all other clerks from other municipalities are helping from time to time on various tasks that have gotten us here today. So at this time, the proposal that I've asked the board to consider, subject of course to bringing a full report to council with any request, is that for year one that myself, I provide support services as an administrator, but I'm not a member of the board. I am a staff member of this municipality who's supporting our council, as well as the other communities, to get a board up and running with proper budgeting and proper policy. And then it needs to be determined, because we're looking at a model where maybe each community takes a turn. So we do it for 1 year, and then Chapleau provides those support services for the next year. And the purpose for this is to save, in all honesty, the municipality's money. The board also has the right, and I can't say at this time, the board hasn't gotten that far in its decision-making, if they'll accept the proposal from Wawa to provide that, or any other municipality, but it's within their right. They have to get an administrator or a recording secretary or a bookkeeper, an accountant, all the things that you can imagine in starting up a new board is sitting on volunteers' hands in this new board, and it's going to take a lot of effort and work. And so instead of outsourcing or hiring external consultants who may not be available within the community, then you start to really increase your annual budget. And so the proposal that is at the board level, but no decision yet, is for all the municipalities to try to provide the resources and supports that they have already in sharing this workload. But it will be a trial. So it's a long way of answering at this time. Sue Lord has a lot of experience. She was the police board recording secretary for the local police board for many years.
Oh, that's good.
So we have the experience and knowledge to help them up and running. So we're doing that for now. And I will come back to council with full report, because my proposal at the board level also includes that we'd be reimbursed for some of those services. So
Okay.
I will certainly come back, Mayor, at a future date to share after the next OPP board meeting, where I hope to get more direction from the board on how they wish to proceed.
Maury, the next question I have, you don't have to answer if you don't know. Is it still look positive for a new police station?
I thank you, Councillor Hatfield. There is no issue in sharing with council that staff are still working closely with Infrastructure Ontario, who's the owner, will be the owner of any provincial facility. And every week there's tasks being completed, and those tasks generally include getting surveys done, doing due diligence and studies and consultations on the proposed site, which we all, council has agreed to in the past, committed to looking at the property between the MNR and the Wawa Tourist Information Center. So it's moving forward, and it's moving forward quickly, and we do have a draft offer of purchase and sale agreement to bring to council to get that final commitment should council agree to sell the property. I'm hoping that that comes forward before the end of the year. I think that will solidify for everyone the message that the new detachment is coming. It's at our legal right now, so it's between the two legal parties negotiating the terms. So it is moving forward, and we look forward to bringing information to council, including an offer of purchase and sale as soon as we can. So it's looking very positive. Thank you.
Councillor Opetto? Councillor Hoffman?
Between Maury and Sue Lord, if it wasn't for those two, this board probably would not be on track the way it is, because they've done a lot of work. And I'm hoping that the board will go through with what Maury's proposing, because we have the expertise right now. We were the only community that had a police services board, where the other communities, they don't know what this is all about. And so Maury and Sue have done a good job.
Thank you very much. So the recommendation that is on the table currently is only with regards to insurance. It's required by the board. And staff is looking for $805 to pay for insurance for the board from October to November 2025. Based on the comments received, I do not hear any objections, and council is aligned to pay for those expenditures. Thank you very much. There are no items listed in item number 9, 10, or 11. Item number 12, next meeting date, 12.1, Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. Item number 13, adjournment. 13.1, close of meeting at 7:18 p.m. May I please have someone make a motion to close? Councillor Hoffman, seconded by Councillor Hatfield. All in favor? Carried. We will now move on to our regular council meeting agenda. Maury, let me know when you're ready. Item number 1, call to order and note the members present at 7:18 p.m. Item number 2, disclosure of pecuniary interest. Seeing and hearing none, we will move on to item number 3, approval of the agenda.
Moved by Councillor Cannon, seconded by Councillor Hoffman. Resolved that the agenda for the regular meeting of council scheduled for Tuesday, October 15th, 2024 be approved as presented.
All in favor? Carried. There are no delegations or presentations this evening, so we will move on to item 5, announcements and giving of notice. There are multiple announcements and meetings listed on the agenda. Does anybody have any announcements that they wanted to make this evening? Seeing none, we will move on to item number 6, adoption of minutes. 6.1, regular council meeting, Tuesday, October 1st, 2024.
Moved by Councillor Hoffman, seconded by Councillor Cannon. Resolved that the following minutes of the meeting of council be adopted as presented. Minutes of a regular meeting of council held on Tuesday, October 1st, 2024, as contained on pages 1 to 6, inclusive of the minute book.
All in favor? Carried. Item number 7, correspondence. There are multiple items listed under correspondence, and as usual, I will ask Maury. Maury, do you have anything that you wanted us to pay particular attention to?
Thank you, Mayor. A lot of correspondence is from other municipalities asking for support of resolutions or showing this council that it has supported resolutions passed by the municipality Wawa Council. But a particular note is 7.4 for council to note the correspondence from the Ontario Provincial Police, the annual billing statement. Of note to council is this annual billing statement shows an increase of approximately $213,000 over last year's bill. It's approximately equivalent to just over a 4% property levy tax increase. I am going to work with the mayor to see if there's anything that the municipality can do to ask the OPP and the minister to reconsider, but it will have a dramatic impact on the 2025 operating budget and years following. So council will hear more on the impact of that increase as we approach council with our capital operating budget in the future. And Mayor, if I may, on 7.5, a notice around the study area for the preliminary design and class environmental assessment to study a location for the development of a new truck rest center within the boundaries of Wawa is exciting news. And perhaps, Mayor, you could speak of the boundaries because I don't remember. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maury. I did want to just make a particular note of the study area limits. When I went online, the MTO has a really great map that very clearly indicates the study limits. The study area limits to the south is just shy of the Magpie restaurant, what we would understand as the Magpie truck stop limits. So it's just shy of that. It doesn't encompass that. So it actually cuts off the old Magpie truck stop and the Cedarhof property. And it falls short of what we would understand as the canoe factory to the north. So I encourage council to go on the website and really take a look electronically. It doesn't, at the map that's provided, on the notice of study commencement on the pay-per-view, it really is, it's really hard to pinpoint what the study area limits are just by looking at the map. But when you actually go to the website, you can very clearly indicate where the study area limits are. It might be something for us to look at, and perhaps we want to reach out as a council to the MTO and suggest that they expand their study area limits, but there is a process and an area for comments. So.
No, I might be out of line. Does this have anything to do with the sale of property? No? This is something totally different?
Something totally different.
Melanie, did MTO give you any kind of dates?
So the only dates are what's in the notice.
Okay.
So we can take a look at the notice. They're asking that they encourage you to visit the project website and stay updated on the project. The MTO is doing 5 rest stop dates. So Wawa is going to be included along with Duberville, White River, and 2 in Southern Ontario.
So that's the province doing it.
Yes.
They're not known to be very fast, so I'm anxious to see how this goes.
And I apologize, Councillor Hatfield. They're asking for questions or comments by November 1st.
Okay.
So if council does want to take a look, then certainly you can provide comments to Maury or myself. With that said, we will move on to item number 8, consent agenda. 8.1, approval of the consent agenda.
Moved by Councillor Cannon, seconded by Councillor Pato. Resolved that the items listed under the consent agenda 8.2 and 8.3 be approved as recommended.
All in favor? Carried. Item number 9, staff reports and memos. 9.1, receive staff reports/memos.
Moved by Councillor Hoffman, seconded by Councillor Cannon. Resolved that Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Wawa does hereby receive the following staff reports and memos. A, Protective Services Department, KS 2024-11, September 24 monthly report. Infrastructure Services, September monthly report. C, Community Services and Tourism Department, September monthly report. D, Finance Department, September monthly report. E, CAO 2024-12, Draft Municipality of Wawa Multi-Year Accessibility Plan, 25 to 29. And F, CAO Memo Insurance Quote, Superior East OPP Regional Detachment Board.
All in favor? Carried. Item number 10, business arising out of previous meeting. 10.1, accept staff recommendation from report number EDO 2024-1.
Moved by Councillor Cannon, seconded by Councillor Hoffman, whereas the Government of Canada is working to motivate communities across Canada to work towards achieving net zero, ending the amount of greenhouse gases or GHGs produced by human activities. And whereas Quest is a national charity in Canada that supports communities in their transition to net zero. And whereas staff have met with a representative from Quest to learn more about their current research study, and where they will be working with 15 remote rural communities, including the municipality of Wawa, to determine what the barriers are for achieving net zero. Therefore, be it resolved that Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Wawa does hereby endorse the participation of the Municipality of Wawa in the Quest research project entitled Motivating Net Zero Action in Rural and Remote Communities in order to gain. I'll end that with motivating net zero action in rural and remote communities. And further, that Wawa's input into Quest's recommendations to the provincial and federal government for policies around net zero action is to be inclusive and sensible for remote and rural communities. And furthermore, that Quest provide a report and an in-community workshop for free of charge in Wawa.
All in favor? Carried. 10.2, accept staff recommendation from CAO Memo, Small Business Week, Council Luncheon Request.
Moved by Councillor Hoffman, seconded by Councillor Cannon, whereas Small Business Week in Ontario runs from October 21st to 26, 2024, and whereas it has been several years since the municipality of Wawa hosted an event to celebrate the entrepreneurial community in Wawa and share the successes that Council has achieved over the past few years. Therefore, be it resolved that Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Wawa does hereby support and sponsor the hosting of a business lunch social on Wednesday, October 23rd from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Wawa Community Center during Small Business Week.
All in favor? Carried. Item number 11, new business. 11.1, resolution of support, recommendations for government regulations on nicotine pouches.
Moved by Councillor Cannon, seconded by Councillor Hoffman. Resolved that Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Wawa does hereby receive and support correspondence from the Municipality of St. Charles dated August 14th, 24, that supports Resolution 2624 passed by Public Health Sudbury and districts regarding recommendations for government regulations of nicotine pouches. And further be it resolved that a copy of this resolution be sent to the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, the Deputy Premier and Minister of Health, Sylvia Jones, our local member of Provincial Parliament, the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, the Public Health Sudbury and Districts, and the Municipality of St. Charles.
All in favor? Carried. Item 11.2, City of Timiskaming Shores alcohol sales and convenience stores.
Moved by Councillor Hoffman, seconded by Councillor Cannon. Resolved that Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Wawa does hereby receive and support correspondence and Resolution 2024-332 passed by the City of Timiskaming Shores regarding the provincial decision on alcohol sales in convenience stores and locations that sell fuel to drivers, and the development of a comprehensive provincial alcohol strategy. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be provided to the Honourable Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario, Honourable Sylvia Jones, Deputy Premier and Minister of Health, the Honorable Doug Downey, the Attorney General, the Honorable Pramit Sarkaria, Minister of Transportation, Amo Phenom, and Roma.
All in favor? Carried. Item 11.3, resolution of support, provincial updates to the Municipal Elections Act.
Moved by Councillor Hatfield and seconded by Councillor Rapato. Resolved that Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Wawa does hereby receive and support correspondence from the Township of Amaranth, dated September 18, 2024, and the City of Parry Sound, dated October 2nd, 2024, and calls for the province to update the Municipal Elections Act with priority amendments as outlined by AMCTO before the summer of 2025, and commence work to review and rewrite the Municipal Elections Act with longer-term recommendations ahead of the 2030 elections. And be it further resolved that a copy of the resolution be forwarded to the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, Minister of Education, Minister of Public and Business Services Delivery, Minister of Finance, Premier of Ontario, and Sylvia Jones, MPP, and AMCTO.
All in favor? Carried. 11.4, approve council members' travel to Roma Conference in Toronto from January 19th to the 21st, 2025.
Moved by Councillor Cannon, seconded by Councillor Hatfield. Resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Wawa does hereby authorize the travel of Mayor Melanie Pilo and Councillor Joseph Apato to attend the Roma Conference in Toronto, Ontario from January 19th to 21st, 2024.
2025. Thank you. All in favor? Carried. 11.5, approve change of council meeting start time on Tuesday, November 19th, 2024, from 6:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m.
Moved by Councillor Hatfield and seconded by Councillor Apato, whereas the Municipality of Wawa passed bylaw number 3523-22, being a bylaw to adopt policy GG003, being the proceedings of council and committees, on July 12, 2022, and whereas Article 2.8 states, unless otherwise authorized by council, all meetings of council shall be held in the council chambers, 40 Broadway Avenue, and begin at 6:30 p.m. unless otherwise determined by council. So therefore be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Wawa does hereby approve the change of council meeting start time from 6:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday, November 19th, 2024, and further that staff be directed to post the necessary notices at the municipal offices and in local media advising of the change in time of the council meeting.
All in favor? Carried. Email Good Roads Board of Directors, establishment of an Ontario Rural Road Safety Program.
Moved by Councillor Pato, seconded by Councillor Hatfield. Resolved that Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Wawa does hereby receive and support correspondence from the Good Roads Board of Directors regarding the establishment of an Ontario Rural Road Safety Program, and be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to Premier Doug Ford, Honorable Pramit Sarkaria, Minister of Transportation, Honorable King Surma, Minister of Infrastructure, Honorable Rob Flack, Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Lisa Thompson, Minister of Rural Affairs, Honorable Trevor Jones, Associate Minister of Emergency Preparedness and Response, and Honorable Sylvia Jones, the Minister of Health, and the Ontario Good Roads Association.
All in favor? Carried. 11.7, accept staff recommendation and allocate funds to the Superior East Ontario Provincial Police Regional Detachment Board.
Moved by Councillor Hatfield and seconded by Councillor Pato, whereas the Superior East OPP Regional Detachment Board held its first meeting on October 8th, 2024, and whereas the Police Board is required to have liability insurance in place to protect all volunteer members while participating on the board, and no budget is yet available to the board to pay for insurance. Therefore, be it resolved that Council of the Corporation of the Municipality of Wawa does hereby approve funding to cover an equal share of the board's insurance costs for 2024-2025 in the amount of $805.
All in favor? Carried. There are no items listed under item number 12. Item number 13, bylaws. 13.1, first, second, and third reading.
Moved by Councillor Pado, seconded by Councillor Hatfield, resolved that the following bylaws be introduced and read a first, second, and third time, and finally passed, and that the mayor and clerk do sign and seal the same. Any rule of this council to the contrary notwithstanding, bylaw number 3746-24, to confirm the proceedings of council at its meeting held on the 15th day of October 2024, and bylaw number 3747-24, to enter into a right of first refusal agreement for municipal land described as Plan IM 511, Part Block 27 RP IR 13984, Parts 1 and 2, and known municipally as 10 White Drive.
All in favor? Carried. There are no items listed under item 14, 15, or 16. Item number 17, next meeting date, 17.1, Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. Please be advised that Deputy Mayor Hatfield will be chair of that meeting. Item number 18, adjournment. 18.1, close of meeting.
Moved by Councillor Hatfield, seconded by Councillor Pado, resolved that the meeting close at 7:37 p.m.
All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much for your good work this evening, folks. Have a great night.